So we've had to wait a little extra week for another chapter of Eden Zero, and well, our first real opponents in the so far 2 months that we've had for this series being around, and it is probably the weirdest way to start things off. Like, I mean, definitely with our first real batch of villains, with the terrifying, the unstoppable, the immovable force that is the Foot Brothers. Yeah, no, watch out. We've got a pair of badasses on the loose right now. Let's watch out. We don't want to mess with these guys. So, clearly with Sibir's gang, there has been a theme going on with one of his arms being like a mecha gauntlet, and then he has two of his right-hand men who are actual, like, people who have mech legs, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be another guy as well. Like, there's going to be another dude, and then what they're going to do, they're all going to form Voltron or some shit like that. But overall, there was some nice stuff to say about this chapter. Mainly the fact that there was some really stuff, and I think definitely the Pino stuff was stuff that standed out with Weiss on there, and especially the ending as well with Shiki, because there's a lot going on there with him, and I think he's now about to kind of lose his mind a little bit. So for this chapter, we always get to see that, like, not only have they somehow stolen some sort of motorbike, like both Shiki and like Rebecca, but they're like, we need to get there right now. We need to go and get Pino. We need to go after like the doctor. We need to find everything right now on there. Like, Shiki's there, like just don't worry, leave it to me and all that. Like, we can win this. We can sort everything about that. And he's like, I'm never gonna let like my friends down. Not after like all this stuff. Like, not after I just made one, and not after what we've just been through, and especially where there are kind of like 3 people right now that know what's going on. So we need to kind of sort this out, and we cut to Pino, like, Wise, like, we cut all back to them, and especially where it's like, no, it's like I wasn't running away and all that, like the fact that I was stolen, and it's just like, oh, so what should I do then? Tear off your other leg and all that? Will that teach you not to escape again? And you can see as much as, like, Wes is like kind of looking at this, and he's like, he wants the perfect, like, you know, opportunity. He does have a heart. Like, as much as he tries to act like he's this cool, you know, like calm, collected little badasses on there, he's like, he does clearly have a conscience. And it was like, the second that like the leg was now about to pop off, like, he throws a rocket, catches Pino, and he's just like, well, looky here and all that, like, you kind of stole this from me, and, you know, like, I'll get how, like, she brings you all the cash, but, you know, she's completely wasted on you pieces of shit, so let's just take care of that. And then both Rebecca and, like, she could just crash through just a straight up wall on there, and without even a second chance, like, of anything like happening, like, immediately, like, he goes in, does something really cool where, like, he does this Machina wave, like gravity wave, where this one is kind of new, where he gets to pull people into like the actual gravitational force, like, of his power, gets everyone sucked in, and then immediately he's able to like dance around and just shoot stuff around. And it was like pretty cool. I actually really like this. This was like, I believe it was called the Heavy Dance. I believe, like, checking on the translation on there, it was the Heavy Gravity Fist Wild Dance. And I was like, that, like, and you get to see the panel there. I was like, you know, I actually really kind of like, I think that's a kind of like cool thing, because that was the one thing, like, I've mentioned so many times about Shiki, where I was like, I'm not too sure about like especially with his abilities, because you're already talking about a broken ability like gravity anyway, and it's like, how do you mix it up? And it's like, well, you can lighten yourself up. I definitely think this gravity pull wave, like this kind of like little giant AoE that he just pulls in and just grabs everyone in there, I think that's a really cool thing, like tethering them down, and he uses that, like, combining with like all with all of them pulled in, gets to like fight them all down. And I think that was a nice, cool, like, if anything, that's like so far the most kind of impressive thing that she'd done, apart from like float in the air. And I was like, it was something a little bit different on there, as he's like, just, mind you, it's beating up wild goons, but this is where, like, it was like, yeah, good job, Shiki. Oh, yeah, that's a problem. They actually just took our ride, so Weiss just decided to like leave them immediately. And there's another problem with this. Happy's on top of it. And Shiki, like, with that, Shiki and Rebecca are slightly fucked, because Shiki's the only one that can fight at the moment, because unless Rebecca has anything else that she can do right now, it's like, she hasn't got her weapons right now, she hasn't got her guns. This, in turn, leads with them having, like, this giant metallic, like, crate being dropped on them. She just pushes Rebecca out of the way, like, I was like, no, oh my, we can't deal with this right now. And this takes Shiki out of the fight. He is seemingly underground. And now Rebecca has to deal with, you know, the two greatest people, like these guys, like the Foot Brother, like, just to say, like, obviously, like, you're expecting, and the next chapter is Court versus Foot Brother, so, I mean, we're not going to expect, like, these are going to be, like, overarching villains or anything. These aren't going to be any ones that, I don't think there's going to be, like, real fan art of these guys, like, years later. It's like, man, remember these guys, like, remember this, like, memorable. They really remind me of, like, early Wraith Master. Like, they really remind me of, like, an early Wraith Master, like, villains that they went against, like, some of those before, like, they started getting a little bit more serious. It kind of really reminds me of that. And this is the thing, I really appreciate as well that, like, even Rebecca is just like, these guys are just weirdos, and, like, these guys are, like, she just doesn't care about these guys. She knows that they're, like, weird jobbers, and she's just like, let me just go out. I'd like, they even have, like, dumb little goofy pose and stuff that they do, and I'm like, oh, thank God, even the serious is real, not pretending like these guys are serious at all, thank God, because they're not. And, like, this chapter ends very, interesting on there, and it's like where like Weiss is like leaving and he's like getting chased by Sibir and this gear knight that they were talking about, and we see that Pino is just like, you know, I need to do his work, I need to, and it's like, if I don't, everyone. So that she's pretty much being like, you know, we already know as well that she's being like blackmailed from this, like, this scenario, and where this chapter like ends up, where we see this kind of sad a little bit for especially Shuki, is that he gets to see at least not Michael, but this is probably as well that this is maybe the model. Like, we don't, like, they could even say this is like what Michael was 50 years in the future, and that's why, like, they could do something, they could pull something like that, but it could also just be the same model as far as we know from there. But, like, yeah, Shiki's not taking that too well, like, after seeing that, as like, because this is what's happening right now. He's seeing someone that he was a friend for, and it's on the ground. I mean, overall, I think this chapter was decent. I wasn't blown away by it for the most part. It was still, like, kind of, like, setting up more of, like, all what's going to go down. We're going to be against these Foot Brothers, but how Rebecca is going to deal with this and all. I don't think so. It's probably going to involve an enraged Shiki getting back up there, because she's can't do any, unless she's got anything else like up her sleeves and all that, without using like her guns and all that. That'll be kind of interesting, but I think definitely it's probably going to involve like Shiki getting involved, and then we've got to see the third side of this, like a whole chase where it's Weiss versus like this gear knight and seeing what he's got in store. Overall, yeah, it was a fine chapter. I just like wasn't thoroughly blown away with this one. It was probably definitely like a 5, if anything. Like, I'd say like it was a 5. It was an average to like slightly decent chapters, but let me know you guys think in the comment section down below. But that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys though next time.